Yep. So we are trying to come to terms with Illustrator here, make it work for us. My main technique, this is not from any class, this is from use, is to get something down and then be able to edit it with confidence and try to build as few anchors as possible. So it is very different than a raster program. It's like getting infinitely varied cutouts of paper. And that's why the pencil tool is my favorite, because you can always redo your cut. And that's why I don't like strokes too much. And when I use them, because they have their purposes, which you've seen, I usually outline them after so that I can modify both sides of the line as I'm doing here. So I like the inside shape. Now I'm just working on the outside shape to make it dramatic. But for the pencil tool to work, you have to go through, you have to start through it, an anchor point, and end through an anchor point. Otherwise it creates a new path. And if something's working, let it go. Let it be. It all falls under kind of choosing your battles. Now, if you're not sure which works better, I'm trying to give the illusion of kind of eyes here on the wing and also wings. So I have to get the angle of this wing to work for that intention. I'm just having a trouble because there's not that many anchor points always drawing through one. That's where it can get frustrating. But you will prevail. Do not let it defeat you. There we go. Now, when it comes to inking traditionally, with ink pens, with a brush, I do it on vellum, on tracing vellum, and then scan that. But it's all about confidence, what's called line confidence, to have an animator's line. Just really believe in it. And I try that as much as I can in Illustrator, but it's hard. And I think just that ability to be able to undo it with Command Z and redo lessens my line confidence a little bit, knowing there's always a way to go back. But it's something that can be practiced. It can be improved upon. I really like the way the curves are working here. I even like this little extra dip there. So I'm happy with these shapes. Because I wasn't smart enough to put them on a different layer, I'm just going to select them with the small selection tool individually. And luckily they're all touching. So I take that, I copy it, I put it on another layer, I lock the layer behind, and I edit, paste in place into a new layer. Object, transform, reflect, 90 degrees vertical. Use my arrow keys. I'm going to get this in the other wing. And even though the wings aren't symmetrical, hoping I can keep these eyes pretty symmetrical. They almost are. I'm going to have to drop it down a bit. And now I'll just need to adjust those wings slightly. All right, so are those suggestive of eyes? Yeah. But now I need to work with the wings here for the bird for a lot of reasons, and the little points. Because that's the problem with symmetry. Once you have some variation, you have a lot of issues you have to deal with. But luckily, I've got all these different layers. They're all controllable. They're all editable. It can be worked with. And instead of trying to just redraw it, it's actually all a stroke right now. So before I even outline it, I'm going to try just moving the anchor points around. That's one benefit of a stroke. So there's not that many benefits to strokes in Illustrator. But one is that your sharp points will stay sharp points, which is good for these wings. And I can work on the placement of these anchors a little bit more directly. I think I'm going to add another little tip here. All right, and then I can take my pencil tool, and just like you can do with paths, you can redraw the direction of strokes this way with the pencil tool. All right. You have to go through anchor points. Yeah, so this is, I think, going to be it. This will be the way. Now, the problem with strokes is you can't really control what the tips do. It has to do with the angles and how they're finished off and what settings you have. So once you have kind of the shape you like, and I think I do, now I am going to say Object, Path, Outline Stroke. And now I have both sides of the line I can mess with. So I can make this into a point without changing the inside. So it's really about, finding the things that are strengths and what things are liabilities within Illustrator, depending on what you want to do. I'm excited. We have 7 minutes until noon. So after this demo will be over in 7 minutes. I hope to have my line work finished so I can start dropping in color in Photoshop. That's exciting. But all this is all the hard work of your spot illustration. And remember, it needs to work just as line work, because color will make it more interesting. It will add to it, but it won't save any mistakes. So if it's not doing what you want it to do in black and white line work, you want to invest in some time and lab hours, asking the questions to get it where you want it to be. I just so happen to offer those lab hours, so you're in luck. I'm just being really picky here. I don't quite love this curve. Slim it down. In the interior, try to slim it down. All right, I think that will do it. Actually, let's take the different take with it to match the other side. Then you always have the smooth tool if you need to even out, especially curves. All right, so now it's crunch time. What do I need to fix within the bird itself? I've got the wings, I've got the eyes. I think I wanted to add another little lip here, so I can do this in a new layer. There we go. I'm going to unlock all of these so that I can merge them together. With the Pathfinder tool, just adding that, and now I can clean that up and just clean a little bit up around the bird in general. Little things like these bumps. Come on, I unlocked you. So now I have multiple layers unlocked, so I can just edit them without worrying about where they come from. I can work on kind of merging these things, worrying about connections, tapering edges, trying to keep things smooth. And where I need to, merging them together. So I need to also unlock the outline of the bird, so I can merge that in Pathfinder. So it's one big happy vector. Now, a key to this, that's what we're hoping for. A key to this is not having any white in it. So I don't have any white strokes. I don't have any white fills. If you live trace it, be sure you get rid of white by ignoring the white in your tracing settings. The reason that's so important is because that white will be part of your vector file and will affect your coloring otherwise. So you just want clean black outlines. And where they overlap, you want to use, this is ideal practice, but you want to use Pathfinder then to merge them and to keep them really accurate. I'm not saying it's at all easy, but it's what we should try to do. I'm going to use the smooth tool on the outer beak here. And then I think I'm ready to save it as an EPS. Trying to find just kind of a magic shape for the beak, but we'll see. Okay. Looks pretty good. I see this little bump fix in a couple places. Should be fast work with the pencil tool. And then down here, just this little bump. Oh, and I got to merge those.